What's up, creators? It's been a while since I've been on the channel for a second, and you probably are wondering if you have been around the channel for a while. Diana, why is your Shure SM7B back here, and what are you doing and what are you using? And to that, my good friend, I would say, mind your business. I'm not telling you yet because I'm testing something. So I'll tell you in a different video, but we have a new camera to discuss, and it's an APS-C camera, and it might be the best successor to the a6600, probably even better than the famed a7000 camera that never came. So here's the specs of what we're looking for this a6700 camera, and it is the rumor, but it is a 26 megapixel sensor, 7 stops to stabilization, the new AI processor that we've been seeing in the Sony ZV-E1 and the Sony a7R Mark V, I believe it is. So we're getting that same Netflix quality approved sensor that we've seen on the FX30 with the AI tech, and it's going to have 4K 120, albeit with a 1.19 times crop, which is not much. And we're also looking at having an updated camera body finally for the a6000 series bodies that is going to have probably a deeper grip, because it's going to also have the little scroll wheel on the grip, which everybody has been asking for the longest time. We've needed more mature APS-C camera bodies, and I think this camera is finally going to be that mature APS-C hybrid body design. Of course, right off the rip with the bigger grip, it's probably going to have that FC100 battery that it should have always had in the APS-C cameras once they came out, but I digress. And we've had the 2.36 million dot OLED EVF that has been shared from the A7C all across the A6000 series cameras. And to be honest with you, that is way long in the tooth. It's a no. Just no more. So I'm hoping that for the hybrid shooters out there that do need an EVF, that if this camera is going to have one that is more in line with the A7 IV's EVF, and that would be a big update. Now, because this camera is going to be a little bit of the Sony ZV-E1 and a little bit of the Sony FX30 and be a nice mix in between, there are some specs that I think will be easy lateral moves, unless we just kind of see that Camera Conspiracy's Canon Cripple Hammer come down on the camera, and it just doesn't happen simply because of a market segmentation decision. But here's what I'm hoping we get. I'm hoping we stick with the 4K 60p that has no crop and no jello effect when it comes to the rolling shutter. So when you would pan left or right, just because the camera is scanning from bottom to top and really slowly, you get that jello effect. So I'm hoping we don't have that in this one. And because of the sensor of the FX30, I think that should be fine. I think 10-bit is a given. It's just a matter of if it's going to be a 420 10-bit or a 422 10-bit. And again, that just depends on what they choose to add or not. I'm really hoping it is almost identical mirror move here with the FX30 specs. Mine is probably like some cinema based things, but hopefully, again, because it's a good hybrid camera, we see a lot of that same video stuff. So 4K 60, obviously a given. 10-bit should be a given, but I have a concern. Are we also going to get the 4K USB live streaming that's going to come in the camera? Because I would love to see that, and some kind of USB-C power delivery enhancement. I love the fact that we have USB-C in the cameras. Every camera should have it moving forward. But is it going to still be like a slow drip kind of a situation, or is there something that can be done to help when you are charging your battery in your camera that you're able to get faster charge time? So a lot of times when I'm traveling, I'll vlog them till the point I'm in the airport and all that extra stuff. Once I get going, I'll usually toss my camera in my bag, and there's a portion that I'm just not recording yet. So I'm topping the battery off in the camera. The FC100 batteries are already great anyway, but it just would be great to not have to worry about a second battery at all if you don't want to. But here is the biggest question with any of this. We know that with the ZV-E1 body, even though it's like a newer body design, it's not like an FX30 or even an FX3 style body design where we have a fan in it and that heat's dissipating, because we have creators that are trying this camera all over the place saying that they're having overheating in those higher frame rates for longer periods of time, which in some arenas, it just will not work. In an air-conditioned office or whatever, 4K 24, fine. But if you are into like wedding cinematography, or I'm looking looking at like long-term video podcasting situations and stuff, recording workshops and talks, how is that camera going to hold up? And I have those same questions about this camera, but I think we might not see that in this one. And here's why. With the a6600, even though it came out in 2019, it still had some weather sealing to the body. Because we're looking at a camera that's at least going to have, again, a new design, a hybrid focus, and really be that top shelf APS-C hybrid for the successor to the a6000 series, we should see better performance. At least I'm hoping. It is a bit bigger than your traditional APS-C camera bodies from Sony. So I'm hoping, number one, that's to help dissipate heat, but number two, help us to get these longer record times, because having a camera with unlimited recording, but then the overheating being a concern, is not an apples to apples match. Like, that's not okay. I don't have issues doing events, recording my talks and stuff with the ZV-10. Never had that issue with the a6400, and especially the a6600. If this camera is supposed to be the top of the food chain in Sony's APS-C line, I want that same comfort if this is a camera that I pick up. And of course, I'm wondering what the heck I want to choose to buy with this ZV-E1 in the cart. And I'm like, should I go ahead and check out and get that one? Get the full frame lenses I was looking at getting? Or is it going to make sense to wait another 30 to 60 freaking days to get this a6700 camera? And we'll talk about that in a whole other video. Otherwise, we'd be in for way longer record times. But if you're like me and you're looking at the potential of like finally an a6700 upgrade, we needed an upgrade to the a6600, and for it to be like a legit upgrade. Like, Sony, don't watch this part of the video. In my opinion, the a7 IV, when it came out, was not the big upgrade I thought we were all going to see. Like, when the a7 III came out, it was the bee's knees off. Like it was crushing everybody across the industry. When the a7 IV came out, it felt kind of more meh. Like, it's cool, it's nice, like it's great, but it's not like dag. So when the FX30 came out, like, that is like, all right, like that's doing some work. So I'm hoping either we're going to see like one or two things. The FX30, the $1,800 camera. ZV-E1, that's a $2,200. We're looking at a hybrid body now, just to throw the price out there. A7 IV is $2,500 as well. So if we have two cameras to contend with, a6700, don't know the price, maybe anywhere from $1,200 to $1,300 on the low end, which is what the a6600 body is right now, or we're looking to closer to that higher end, and maybe they pull like they did when the a7S III came out and the FX3 came out. They were only a few $100 difference between them, but focused for different markets. Are we going to see this same kind of sibling rivalry, if you will, between the a6700? Maybe it's at a $1,200, maybe $1,300 to $1,500 or something, and then this FX30 is at an $1,800 price range. But what would you need the price to be in order for this to work? Because I think it's going to be that versus them being the exact same price and exact same camera bodies. At least that's my hope, is that we see something that's a little bit different. It's been a long time. Give us a freaking break, Sony. We want the gosh darn cameras. We're buying multiples of these, and we're having a hard time deciding what to get. Number one, what price would you need this camera to be? I gotta know what you think in the comments. And then number two, would you think it's closer to that FX30, or do you think it will be some difference in the price? I have some thoughts on like trying to decide between the two, but I'll share that in a different video. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'm very excited, and now I'm confused also. E1 or a6700, I just don't know. Are you an entrepreneur struggling to get your brand noticed through video content? Look no further. The One Right Video is the ultimate guide to creating videos that will amplify your brand and grow your business. It's jam-packed with practical tips and strategies to help entrepreneurs just like you succeed in video content creation. Don't let your competition get ahead. Mark your calendar for March 1st and be among the first to get your hands on a copy of the One Right Video. Go to onerightvideo.com.